After seeing the first episode of Loki, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed. But with a second episode releasing the following week, I decided to keep an open mind. I still wasn't impressed. As the old saying goes, third time's a charm, so I held out hope for what episode 3 had to offer, and lo and behold, the show once again let my hopes down. Now, before anyone jumps to conclusions, don't get me wrong. The actors and actresses have done a wonderful job so far, and fit their roles well, especially Owen Wilson's Agent Mobius, and of course, Tom Hiddleston himself as Loki. The issue I have with this series is the story writing and plot. Before I begin, I'm giving you guys a spoiler alert if you have not seen the show yet, because I'm just going to be giving a quick spark notes of episodes 1 through 3. Now, episode 4 was an improvement, however, I am only going to be going over 1 through 3. The first episode starts off at the scene from Avengers Endgame, when 2012 Loki takes the Tesseract, which teleports him into the Gobi Desert, where he is then quickly taken captive by the TVA. The TVA, in summary, is a bureaucratic agency outside of time and space that takes people who mess up an existing timeline, or, as they call them, variants, into custody in order to keep the multiverse from erupting into chaos. Loki is then put on trial and found guilty of violating the so-called sacred timeline. Okay, pause. So my biggest criticism for this episode is what they did to Loki's character, especially in this particular scene. The writers seem to play him off more as an idiot and kind of a comedic loser compared to the cold, cunning, and calculated character that he was portrayed as in the other Marvel movies. Alright, back to the episode. Mobius catches Loki's trial and successfully convinces the justice overseeing Loki's case, Ravonna Renslayer, that Loki could be a potential asset in a current investigation he is doing on a rogue variant. To save on time, I'm going to finish the rest of the summary with key points. Loki is taken to Mobius' office, where he is shown clips of his future, in particular the events that took place during Thor the Dark World, where he gets traumatized seeing how terrible of a movie it was. I'm just kidding. He actually saw that he's partially responsible for the death of his mother. Loki then seizes an opportunity to escape when Mobius briefly leaves the office, to which Mobius is shocked when he returns, which makes no sense considering he proclaimed he knew all about Loki before he arrived. Loki finds a drawer full of Infinity Stones, which are apparently so common in the TVA that they're used as paperweights. Do a quick chase, and Loki returns back to Mobius' office, where he decides to watch the rest of what his fate has in store. This sequence ends with Loki watching himself getting strangled to death by Thanos, just as Mobius returns back to the office, asking Loki what drives him to commit all this mischief, which Loki responds, "Glorious purpose." Hey, that's the name of the episode! After being made look like a fool a few more times, Loki agrees to help Mobius in hunting a dangerous variant that has been causing trouble, which turns out to be, big shocker, himself! On to the next episode! Episode 2 opens with Loki doing paperwork at a desk while getting harassed by the annoying clock lady voiced by Timmy Turner. After some extensive research, he discovers that the rogue variant is causing trouble for the TVA in moments of history before a cataclysmic event occurs, therefore rendering anything that happens out of place insignificant. Ravonna expresses her distrust of Loki helping Mobius on his case, and with some convincing, she finally agrees to allow Loki to test his theory on the variant. Loki and Mobius decide to test this theory in Pompeii before the eruption of Mount Vesuvius, which works, as despite Loki causing mischief, his disruption did not result in any timelines splitting. They track the variant to 2050 Alabama, where Loki gets separated from the TVA officers. The rogue variant of Loki talks to the protagonist version of Loki by possessing random strangers in order to hide, but soon reveals themselves to be a female Loki? So yeah, first we got an announcement of Jane Foster as Thor, then we get She-Hulk, and now Loki is a girl? It seems like it's turning into the MCU after all. Anyway, while Girl Loki cryptically answers Loki's questions, she uses dimension-traveling devices to send time bombs into different realities, causing the multiverse to break open, much to the dismay of the TVA. Mobius and the officers then find Loki, trying to get his attention as he watches his female variant walk through a dimension door. Choosing the smart option, he follows in after her and the episode ends. Roll credits, next episode! Loki finds himself and his variant, who later reveals her name to be Sylvie, on the planet Lamentis, which is about to be obliterated by its moon. The two bicker back and forth until they come to an understanding and decide to cheat their way onto a refugee train. While on board, they talk more and more, and all we find out is that Loki likes cock. After being outed as non-passengers, they jump out of the train and walk the rest of the way to their final destination, which is a rocket that will escort survivors off the planet. Apparently, Loki has the ability to briefly reverse time, as he does so to prevent debris from crushing Sylvie and himself. Things then escalate, and the escape rocket is destroyed by an incoming meteor shower, and the episode ends. So yeah, that's pretty much a quick synopsis of the show so far minus episode 4. Which I will say was an improvement from what we got. Even though episode 4 was better, the moments that really shined were towards the end, and overall there was a lot of filler content in between. That's one of the reasons why I had such a hard time watching this show, and maybe it's because I'm used to the fast-paced plot like with WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I have heard that Loki is possibly going to have multiple seasons, so maybe that explains the plot dragging along slower than usual, but seeing that there has been a large viewer drop-off rate after episode 3, I doubt a second season will occur. Anyway, those are all my thoughts on Loki so far. Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments down below. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you guys all in the next one. I'm out. Peace.